there, and welcome to a Slice of Pie podcast. My name is Kat Loftus, and we're so glad you could join us today. This week's guest is Mr. Anderson Wilson. Anderson Wilson has worked at DeBordieu Colony since about 1985. He has done a little bit of everything. He has done construction work. He has worked inside the villas, getting things prepared for guests to come in. He has construction, just anything that's fixed things, anything that someone needed done. If they didn't know how to call, say, let's ask Anderson. He'll probably know what to do because he's seen probably so many of the buildings in this neighborhood built. He's met all the people that have come in along the way, the workers, the families. He's just been the greatest person and the greatest resource for our neighborhood. And we were a little sad when he retired. So, but he still comes back in when people call him if they need help with something in their house. So he's never too far away. I know you're going to enjoy this conversation with him. Very excited that the days are getting a little bit longer and weather's getting a teeny bit warmer. We're getting closer to spring and summer weather. That's exciting. Real estate picked up for me this week and welcomed some new people into town and helped them find places to live, which is great. If you need help with real estate, buying or selling something, give me a call at Peace Sotheby's Realty. But in the meantime, I hope you're going to really enjoy episode 29. So sit back and enjoy this episode of a Slice of Pie podcast. Hi, Anderson.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Y'all, this is Anderson Wilson. And sorry, there goes my dog. And Anderson has been a longtime friend of everybody in DeBordieu and also an employee of DeBordieu. And I've invited him to our podcast to talk about all his years he's spent at DeBordieu, all the many different jobs he's had, and all the people he's known and worked with through the years. So, you think you're ready to tell me some stories? We'll see.
As long as you don't get me in trouble.
I won't. Listen, I might. I don't know. I'll try not to. Okay. So, Anderson, first of all, will you tell our listeners where did you grow up and where did you go to school?
I grew up here in Georgetown, South Carolina.
Were you born in Georgetown?
No.
Where were you born?
Augusta, Georgia.
Oh, okay. Augusta, Georgia. All right.
Yeah. And my mother moved to South Carolina, lived in Santee, country boy.
Yeah.
And then she got married and moved in Georgetown.
Okay. So, and where did you go to school?
Howard High.
You went to Howard High. So
Yeah.
you graduated at Howard High. Yeah. All right. And just tell us about your family.
I am married to Carolyn Wilson.
Uh-huh.
I have two kids, one a boy and a girl.
Uh-huh.
My son name is Damia Wilson. My daughter name is Malika Wilson.
How old are they?
Damia is 41.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
You must have had him when you were 10. You look so young. Anderson, I can't believe you. How old is
he? He's 41.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how old's your daughter?
My daughter, she's 40.
Gosh. Okay. How about your mom or dad? Anybody else alive? Still alive? No, they deceased. Where was your mom from?
Augusta.
She was born and raised in Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Anyway, all right. So then I wanted to ask you. Okay, now I know you because we lived at DeBordieu and we moved in here in '92. I think that's when. No. Well, we did. We were renting a house in '92, and then I think we finished building this house in '94. So,
Mm-hmm.
But I knew when I got here, you had already been here a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You had been at DeBordieu a long time. So when did you first start working at DeBordieu?
I started working back in probably 82.
82. And so DeBordieu had been in existence for maybe 10 years then? Maybe 10 years?
I would say.
When did Wallace Pate started it? In the 70s sometimes?
Well, when I came to know Wallace Pate is that when I came here, I first met a gentleman by the name of Mr. Wallace Street.
Wallace Street. Uh-huh.
And then I think I met him kind of in passing. And
you met Wallace Pate in passing?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I met a gentleman by the name of Wallace Street. And when I first came from a job.
Yeah. How old were you when you first came and interviewed?
I was a little young kid.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can't remember how old, but it were good days.
Yeah. How did you find out about the job? What was the job? Do you know what he was interviewing you for?
No. What happened was I had just finished doing construction work at an international paper.
Okay.
I used to work for a company called Daniels Construction.
Yeah.
I was a labor foreman for them for about 11 years.
Okay.
And I was just kind of going around the house. I was still dating my wife then.
Okay.
We went together 8 years before we got married.
Wow.
And I would just kind of mope around the house. And then my sister-in-law, Phyllis Gibson,
Mm-hmm.
had mentioned, said, why don't you go to DeBordieu and get a job? And I said, no, with all that. But then I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. So she kind of talked to somebody, because she used to work out here for a lot of people.
Your sister did?
My sister-in-law.
Oh, sister-in-law. Okay.
And
What's her name? Phyllis what?
Phyllis Gibson.
Phyllis Gibson.
Yeah.
Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she told me, she kind of set things up for me to come out and talk to Mr. Street,
Mm-hmm.
because I think she used to do some work for him and everything, and clean his house or even
Yeah.
cook for him.
Why was Wallace Street interviewing you? What was his?
He was the general manager.
Of DeBordieu?
Yeah.
Of the whole neighborhood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing the whole development and everything for Dan Avant and
Edens and Avant?
Edens and Avant, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I just came up and came to his office one day, and he was expecting me, and I introduced myself to him, and we started talking, and then we kept talking and talking. I think my interview lasted for about an hour and a half, and during that time we were just kind of thinking. Then lunch break came or whatever, and then another young man walked in there. His name was Salters McCleary.
Okay, Salters.
Yeah.
How old was Salters?
Salters I think he had just got out of college.
Okay.
And
22.
I met him, and I asked Mr. Street while he was there. He had introduced us, and I said, well, when do you want me to start? He said, you already started.
Oh.
And I said, what? He said, yeah, you already started. I said, so Salters is going to get with Salters, and he'll show you around.
Okay.
And ever since then, it's been history.
So where was the office that you were being interviewed in? Was it the front?
The office that I interviewed in was at the sales office.
At DeBordieu?
Up front, yeah.
Was that sales office there?
Yeah.
It was there?
It was there. And Wall Street office was the one when you walk in the front door.
Uh-huh.
You got the bathroom, and then you got that little
conference room, yeah.
No, not the conference room one,
Uh-huh.
the one on the right-hand side.
Yes.
That was Wall Street office.
Okay.
And right in there, I was in there the whole time with him. Mm-hmm. And we did the interview, and then I got with Salters, and I rode around with him, and I got to meet Tom Nichols, Tim Casey, Jeff Grove.
Jeff Grote?
Yeah.
Jeff Grote.
Uh-huh. I call him Jeff Grove.
That's funny. Yeah.
Jeff Grove. And who else was it?
I'm trying to think.
Those are
I know Tom Nichols was here the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Jeff started from the beginning.
Oh yeah, man. Those were the gentlemen that I met, because those were guys who had everything in motion.
Yeah.
Selling and taking people out on the property and everything.
Right.
And during that time, the gatehouse used to be right outside when you walk out the front door, when you walk up the sales office, right at the end of that sidewalk. It used to be like probably a 4x4 little building. And they used to have a little,
like an arm
gate that you can pull up and close down.
So
like one road going in.
When did the current security gate get built?
The current security gate got built, I think during that time before.
In the 80s, maybe?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I would say in the 80s.
By the time I got here, it was already there. It was in place. It was, they've expanded it a little bit through the years. But
it's been so long since I've been. When I think about DeBordieu, I don't think about the years and stuff. I just go by, those were the good times. Yeah. Whatever we did back then.
Yeah.
But coming here I used to pass it on the highway, and I used to wonder what it was all about.
Where were you? So when you passed DeBordieu on the highway, where were you going?
Going to Myrtle Beach.
Did you work in Myrtle Beach?
My mom used to work at the hotels and stuff in Myrtle Beach.
And so I want you to tell our listeners this. So when you drove from Georgetown to Myrtle Beach, what was along the highway?
Trees.
That was it.
That's it.
Trees.
It was just trees.
The only thing that you might see is the hammock shop.
Yeah.
And did Lashcott have a building up there?
They didn't have. It was no Food Lion.
No, nothing.
Nothing. No Lowe's.
No,
Nothing.
no.
It was just all that was just all.
Well, where Frank's is now, that was owned by what was that man's name? I can't say
that
his
was a
grocery.
What I was told,
Marlowe's.
Yeah.
Marlowe's grocery store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was told it was a grocery store, and I think Salters told me that was the place that he got his first job or whatever.
At the grocery store.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was working there, and then during the time that I was working with him, like he was in charge of he was managing housekeeping and stuff and things like that.
Oh, for the rentals?
Yeah, because we had like Pioneer Place.
Yeah.
Villas.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing that I knew back up in there.
Okay. So before you started working here and you would travel all the way to Myrtle Beach, it was just trees. There were no businesses in Pawleys Island.
No.
There were nothing in Litchfield. It was trees. Because I remember when I came down in 85 or 86.
Yeah.
I was chaperoning some girls staying at a beach house, and it was the same thing, just trees the whole way. So it's really completely different than it was then. So you start working here. What was your first job here?
My first job was just an assistant with Salters.
Just hanging out with Salters and just doing.
Yeah.
Were you taking care of fixing things? Were you building things? Were you?
The only thing that I can remember was just riding out, cleaning houses, like the Pioneer Place Villas. And I used to go to the grocery store to buy the grocery to stock the back. Like if a salesman, somebody wants to buy property out here, what they do is they set up the thing to one of the villas over there,
Yes.
Pioneer Place, and then
they'd set up a meal.
Yeah, we set things up for them to, when they come in, they got beer, wine, cheese, crackers, and all that stuff.
Oh, so the potential buyer was going to stay at the villas like a guest.
Yes.
And so you were just making sure they had something
Had
to
everything
eat and
that
to
they
drink.
need.
As you know. Okay.
And we put out welcome baskets and everything for
That's
them
really nice.
to make them feel at home.
Yeah, that was really nice.
And we used to do that, and that's all. And I used to run from here to Harris Teeter.
Yeah, I remember that in North Litchfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Used to go up there to buy the groceries with the van, and then come back and stock the villas and stuff, and then make sure all the places are clean and all set up and everything ready to go.
So when you first started working at DeBordieu, were mostly the homes just the beach homes? Was it mostly homes just in the beach area? Were there any homes back here along? No. Were there any homes along the creek? You know how we have them on Louvain now? There's homes on the creek right there. Do you remember any homes on Do you remember any homes on Louvain at all? Because I think Alice and Jimmy Cromarty might have had a home on Louvain somewhere, but
there were homes getting ready to be built
along the creek.
That's about it.
But it was mostly just Pioneer Place villas and some other beach houses up there.
Yeah, because during the time when I was working here, you only had one road coming in. You didn't have Louvain coming straight here. It was like the construction road. That used to be the road to take you down to the beach side.
Oh.
Because it used to come all the way back past Wallace Pate, behind Wallace Pate, behind the golf course.
Yes.
And that road takes you all the way up to the beach area.
I think that construction road's still there, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
it is, but they got it. I believe they got it
blocked off.
Yeah. Because that used to be like back up in that area right in the middle where you got the houses that are over on what's it called, Louvain?
Lantana.
That used to be further back up in that area used to be like a dump area where they used to take up all the trees and stuff, and they haul it there and they dump and build it up.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, so your first job was you and Salters were just doing whatever it took to bring people in, bring buyers in.
We take care of them.
Taking care of the buyers, right. Okay. Then was the beach club built then?
No.
No beach club.
Beach club was...
There was, the rec center, what we call the
Yeah,
rec
the
center.
pavilion.
Yeah, it was just now called the pavilion,
Yeah.
right?
And then they did the beach club thing.
Yeah, and it was just one room kind of thing, and the kitchen.
Yeah.
But I think what we would call the rec center, it looks like a little log cabin with the pool. That was the original
Yeah,
clubhouse,
that's
wasn't it?
it.
Yeah.
With that oak tree that still sits there.
Yeah, the old
That
tree.
leans over the.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Because it used to be like a road that goes kind of down and then comes back up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the cart path is now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when did your job change from, entertaining the potential buyers? Did it change? Like, did you start working for the club at some point?
My job kind of changed up later on after I turned out to be Salter's assistant, that I was managing housekeeping.
Okay.
And then later on, they were developing, they're still doing Pioneer Place. Then they were doing like, what was it?
North Beach Villas? No.
Fairway
Oaks Villa?
Fairway Oaks Villas.
Uh-huh.
And then I was voted during that time. We were still doing, entertaining guests and stuff, and doing the houses and stuff. And then we still were taking care of all the real estate people that were coming in to buy property.
Yeah.
Just look at property, or either spend a night to try to get themselves situated, or how they want to do, or whatever they want to do.
Right. So the first developers were Edens and Avant out of Columbia, I believe.
Right.
That's right. Okay. So Edens and Avant had it for a while, and then I think they sold it to the North Inlet Group, something like that.
They did.
And then at some point, I guess people weren't buying fast enough, or something happened that Deputy got in trouble, right?
They kind of went through a few changes and stuff.
Right.
And everything, but later on it kind of got better, and I think Johnny Trotter
came in, because remember they had they talked to whoever the developers were at the time. They said to the homeowners that were in here, could you help us get us bought out of the debt?
Yeah.
And we had a certain number of families that were called the buyout group, I believe, and they did. They bought the company out of debt. And then as more lots were sold, those people were paid back.
Yeah.
I believe that's what happened. But when Pat and I moved in, I think Deputy was well on its way by then, because we moved in around 92, 93. So things had gotten a lot better by the time. It's really stable, financially stable. And so much more developed, because I'm sure our house in this street wasn't even here.
No.
And the big clubhouse wasn't here.
No.
So you saw the big clubhouse built?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I remember when they started breaking ground on that and everything, because at one time we used to just have, for a little clubhouse, we had a little trailer.
Yeah.
That was built facing toward the number one.
Yes.
Tee. And that used to be where people could come in and, golfers can have breakfast or whatever and things like that.
Who did you say who were the ladies that were in there cooking? You said Eleanor?
Eleanor? It was Martha and Eleanor. And I believe Helga kind of came in there too.
Helga was in the trailer?
I think so. No, I don't know if Helga was doing that time or later on. But no, she came later on.
I loved Helga.
And we kind of and got to know them and work with them and everything.
So at first, Deputy just had a 9-hole golf course.
Yeah.
And then it expanded to 18 holes. So who was the developer of the 18 hole?
Pete Dye.
And his son PB.
Yeah. And tell you a little story. I think when they finally got done with the golf course, and I'm just a little kid. I didn't know what going on. I stood out on the 18th hole.
Right.
With Danny Vant, Mr. Eden, Wallace Street, what's the gentleman's name? I can't remember his name. And Pete Dye.
Yeah.
I stood out on the 18th hole with them, and I'm just a young kid, and stood out there, and they gave a toast to finally getting it all done.
Oh gosh, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Did they get a picture?
I don't know if we did or not.
That would be a great picture.
Then I finally got a chance to ride in a helicopter around the golf course.
Did you?
Yeah, Mr. Eden helicopter came down with
Uh,
him,
uh-huh.
and I got to know him,
Uh-huh.
and he told me to take a ride on his helicopter, and I rode the helicopter around DeBordieu.
I've never ridden in a helicopter. What's it like?
That was my first time
Were you
doing it
afraid?
too.
No.
No, I was more excited.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Were you amazed? Did you think it looked beautiful from the air?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really nice
I
job.
always thought DeBordieu was beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Because I always when I used to pass, I used to wonder what it was like
Yeah.
and things like that. But once I finally got in here and seen it, and then see how much it developed and how it looks now from then to now,
Right.
I still love it.
Yeah. So, okay, I know that Brad Latimer is the golf course superintendent, correct?
Mhm.
Was he the golf course superintendent when they first opened the 18-hole golf course, or was there somebody else?
No, it was a gentleman by the name of, was it Bob? Bill? I can't remember his name.
But somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was there a golf pro? Do you remember the first golf pro? I have no idea who that is.
No,
I don't know who. I have no idea.
No.
But anyway, it was really a fun time. I think it was kind of an exciting time.
It was always a fun time.
Yeah, it was. It was a really, really good time. But then your role started changing, though, right? So after the clubhouse got built, more houses were getting built. Did you? Is that when you started working for the club? Do you know?
Yeah.
Because you did.
When I started working for the club, and then I was one of the maintenance guys, and then later on I became the manager of housekeeping, and then I became manager of maintenance. I had like 2 jobs.
So it's interesting that you put a title on yourself like that, because we just thought Anderson was the answer to everything.
Well,
Who will know the answer? Ask Anderson, or I wonder who can fix that. Ask Anderson. Since you've been here so long, you knew so much about all the buildings, all the people, all the families, and everything.
Well, working here for so long, you get to know a lot of people, and you try to help as much people as you can, because anytime people always say you got a bad habit of not saying no, but it's just something that I love to do.
You do like helping people, and you do
Yes.
have a beautiful smile.
Thank
You always
you.
have.
Thank you.
Do you remember all the club managers that you've worked with? So the most recent one is Jeff Cass.
Jeff Cass.
Who was before Jeff?
No.
I thought I would remember who was right before Jeff.
Mr. Leader.
Frank Leader. Frank Leader.
I loved him. And Lamont Teebles.
Lamont Teebles. God rest his soul.
We kind of developed a friendship.
You and Lamont?
Yeah. And he was very dear to me. And after he passed away, it kind of didn't get me down, but even though he was not still with the club, we kept in touch with each other.
That's good.
And then Mr. Leader was another gentleman I looked up to for a long time.
He was older.
Yeah, and he was a very nice gentleman. But he was a person I never forget.
Yeah, he was a hard worker, though. I think that
he was.
If like there weren't enough servers, I think he would go there and serve food.
He goes the extra miles. He'd get out there and do it all himself too.
But was Salters a club manager, Salters McClary, or did he?
No.
He didn't work for the club.
No.
I was just trying to think, who was it? Who was the club manager? I know that Mr. Jim McGrath was for one of the club presidents, but I don't know who the manager was at that time.
Yeah, and then you had Wallace Street.
Wallace Street. So when Pat and I were getting married, we had our wedding reception here. We didn't live here yet, but we had our wedding reception. And the director for our wedding was Miss Patty Eads. Remember Patty?
Oh,
Patty and Ted still living here.
That was the lady who had everything going on.
She knew how to throw a wedding reception.
She does. She does. And working with her I was like the setup guy for her. And during that time, I was before I became manager of housekeeping and stuff like that, I was the
what she does. What is she? What does Kelly Jones do? It's not right receptions.
No, it was when you start talking about it, your mind go blank. It was the
events coordinator or something like that. Event coordinator. Did she coordinate all the events?
Yeah, she does all the events, weddings, and like if members have a party or something, or the ladies get together, they having a card night or things like that. I used to be the one setting up.
Uh-huh.
Me and Carol, what's her name? She retired now. Uh,
Carol? I don't
mm-mm.
know who that was.
Martha, not
Martha?
Martha.
Not
Oh
Eleanor?
God,
Not Eleanor?
no.
I don't know. I can't even pretend to know that.
But anyway, we used to be the only two that it was just me and her.
You were
I
you were
I
the whole
put
show.
I put the tables up,
Tablecloths?
and she does the tablecloth. I put the chairs up. She does everything else.
Uh-huh. Wow. Y'all were the whole
Caroline,
Caroline.
yeah,
Y'all were the whole show.
yeah. We worked for Patty,
Yeah.
and Patty was easygoing, and she always look out for you. She makes sure if she tells you this is what we need to do, and then she leaves it for us to go ahead and make sure it's done.
Yeah, well, she did a great job on our
She did.
wedding
She
reception.
did.
I remember we had a great time at our wedding reception. Now I want to ask you, who were some of your favorite employees that you've worked with?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
You love everybody?
Yeah.
Is there anybody that now I kind of looked to you as a mentor because we've had so many young kids that have worked up at the Blue Heron Grill and at the swimming pool,
Mm-hmm.
and you always kind of seem to look out for them and watch what they're doing, and you were always nice to my sons,
Thank you.
Patrick and
Yeah.
Covey. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Because I always my mom always told me, said, you always treat people the way you always want to be treated.
That's right.
So that's what and that's always been a part of me.
Did you ever have to get after any of those young people that were working up there? You have any funny
I
stories?
get at them, but I don't try to make them feel bad or
Right.
anything. I just kind of talk to them to their level because, well, how you know so much? Well, when you get to work around people so much, you get to learn a whole lot of things, and then you can express yourself, but you understand where they're coming from because you probably did the same thing when you were little too, which is good.
Let me see what else. Do you remember any kind of special event or anything, or special person or VIP that ever came in here? Any kind of event that stood out?
Conway Twitty.
Who? Conway Twitty. You're lying. Conway Twitty. What was he doing in here? For our listeners that don't know, he was a country music singer.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I met one day I went down to the beach, and I think during that time before things kind of got real strict, you couldn't do so much things. He was down there shooting a video down there to the beach,
Uh-huh.
and then
Was he singing or just?
No, he was just sitting down, and I happened to walk up, and I walked up to him, and I said, "Hey, Mr. Conway Twitty." He said, "Yeah." He said, "How you know me?" I said, "I listen to your music."
Yeah.
And you listen to my music? I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm a country boy too."
That's right.
But I got a chance I met him.
Was somebody interviewing him?
No.
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 What was he doing?
See, back that time, you couldn't, nobody knows that they were there.
Okay.
But VIP,
Okay.
you don't say too much about them.
That's right.
There. But I got a chance to meet him, and that was the first one
That you
I
remember?
ever met
Uh-huh.
in my whole life.
Yeah.
And then later on up to this day now, I met who else did I meet here? Who's the guy show that comes on and say, "That's your baby"? He's not the father.
Not Jerry Springer. No, not Jerry.
No, comes on TV said they go to his show and he says, "You are the father."
Dr. Phil? Not Dr. Phil.
No.
No, I don't know who that is.
And then I took a picture with Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Dog the Bounty Hunter, yeah. And then you remember Hunter Renfro and his girlfriend got married here a couple of years, and Dabo came in.
Yeah, and the guy who's quarterback for
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Me and him rode on the golf cart.
Yeah,
so got a chance to meet all.
Was he nice?
Yes.
Very nice.
All of them, they're perfect gentlemen.
Okay.
Every last one of them.
So that was a good, I know, because they probably had a golf day.
Yeah.
And then the wedding was the next day.
Nicest guy you ever want to meet, because when you meet, they're just ordinary people.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember any other sports figures or any other movie stars?
Johnny Unitas.
He was here?
Yeah.
What was he doing here?
He was playing golf.
Okay.
Matter of fact, this was his. I think I met him about 3-4 times.
Johnny Unitas?
Yeah.
Would he stay in here?
Yeah, he was staying here with a friend.
Okay.
And I got an autograph from him for my son.
How about that?
And I went. Matter of fact, I caught him on the back hole over here behind the clubhouse, and I ran up to him, And I introduced myself to him, and I
Uh-huh.
said, "Could I get an autograph from you?" He said, "Sure." And
Uh-huh.
he asked me wanted. I said, "I wanted one for my son."
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Sure, no problem." I got it and
That's
signed.
nice. That's pretty
He
cool.
said, "Best wishes to Daniel."
Oh,
So
Pat would have liked to have
that
that
was
signature.
amazing.
Yeah.
I said, "Man, Johnny Knight, I used to look at this guy on TV, play football,
That's,
quarterback, and everything.
who did he play
Man,
for? I don't even remember who.
the Colts.
The Colts?
Yeah.
Is that when they were in Baltimore?
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so remember they filmed a couple movies in Georgetown. So I used to wonder, did any of the people or actors or actresses that were in those movies, did they ever stay
If
here?
they did, they were, everything was kind of hush hush.
You didn't talk about it.
No.
Um, so I know like Mel Gibson, I thought they filmed parts of Braveheart around here, but people used to talk about, did Mel Gibson stay at WD? I never knew.
Hmm.
But even when Hunter Renfro and his girlfriend got married here, I know that I was trying to get an autograph, and I was talking to Matt Williams in the pro shop. He said, "Miss Loftus, you know I can't do that."
Hmm. Yeah.
But everybody, I guess all the employees know that they're
Yeah.
to respect everybody's privacy
Yeah.
if a special VIP
Yeah.
comes in.
You never get a chance. If you do, you're lucky.
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. But you've probably seen a lot of people coming. See a lot of limos, especially when there's a wedding. You see some limos come and go, right? So
A lot of beautiful weddings.
a lot of beautiful weddings, yes. Do you remember when we were changing from 1999 to the year 2000, and everybody was worried about Y2K and the computers going down? There was a big party at the beach club. I remember, and children could go because we went up there and took our children. But do you remember that when it changed from 1999 to 2000?
Yeah, I've probably been working hard.
You probably were.
Mm.
You've seen all the homes built, right?
Yes.
All the new
Yeah.
streets and
Yeah. Even before, when like if you go into the beach club, the little marsh area over on that side, all that used to be marsh, and I saw them when they started bringing dirt in.
Oh, they had to bring the dirt in.
And filling it up and everything, and then they
Yeah.
started building houses out there.
Yeah,
And then you got North Beach Villa when that
right.
was developed,
That's right.
and then Ocean Green,
Ocean Park and Ocean Green,
and
yeah.
Ocean Park.
Well, since COVID, during COVID, we sold out of all the houses. All the houses got bought up.
Right.
So then the buyers just decided, well, we'll just start buying the lots. And I think every summer there was like 50 houses being built, 50 houses being built. So I don't think WD's built out yet,
No.
but it's pretty close.
No.
I mean,
You still got properties that are still. You ride down some of the roads,
right.
like Wallace Page and things like that.
Yeah.
You got some of the houses that you still see the numbers and stuff.
That's right. There are. There's a couple on our street, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not completely built
Over
up.
the years that I've been here, the WD has developed into a very beautiful place. I don't think there's no other place like this.
It is a unique property because you don't have a lot of unique properties where you have full-time residents and beach homes and beach access and creek access.
Yeah.
Golf.
Because during the time, during the time when I'm working, and then I run into people that never been here before.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just ask them, "How did you hear about this place?" Well, I was scrolling through my magazine, and I saw this thing say WD. They didn't know what it was, so they said they were going to take it, see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, well, they never heard of it, and they heard of Hilton Head and things like that. Hilton Head ain't got nothing on WD.
Well, do you know Pat and Wilson Lowry?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what I heard that they said that they looked all up and down the East Coast. They looked all over, and this is what they chose.
Yes, because during that time, before their house got built, I remember when their house was getting ready to develop, because I used to see a bunch of red dirt on their property when they were building it and everything. And then it finally got built.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home.
Beautiful house.
Beautiful
Matter
home.
of fact, he's a very good friend of mine.
Wilson Lowry.
Him and his wife. So
incredible
I love
people.
them both.
So smart.
Yeah.
Gosh, and just really have done so much for our neighborhood and for our country. Actually,
he used to call me his cousin, his brother.
Brother from another mother, right? There you go. Okay. Do you remember when the gazebo got built up by the beach?
Yeah, I remember when they were talking about it. Salters had a play in that, so I shouldn't say that. But
did Salters not build it? I think he was designing it.
He took part in designing it.
Right.
But that's why I learned a lot of things from him.
Like construction things or design?
To know what people like. to know
To know,
to
okay.
know what
To
people
understand people?
yeah, to know what people like. He don't like when I say things like that, but I said it.
Yeah. Salters is very talented.
He is.
I think he's built all those different parts in the Frank's restaurant, and it's a
Yeah.
gorgeous
He has
restaurant.
he don't talk about it much, but he has a lot of thing going on in his head that he knows exactly what
Yeah.
to do.
It's almost like an artist.
Yeah.
They can see it before they can
He,
conceptualize it before it comes
yeah.
to life.
He has that talent.
Yeah.
He don't. He don't. He. When I told him about it, he said, "No, there was a man. You do." And that's what. And I told him I learned a lot of stuff from him.
Yeah, because I thought it was really cool when they were first designing the gazebo. So for our listeners that don't know, the gazebo is like a bar, an open air bar that sits up near the beach, and you can look out toward the ocean and have a drink up there.
Yeah.
But when it closes, they have these wooden panels that come down to close
Shutters.
it, lock it. And I think he designed a pulley system for them at first. So
Yeah.
that's how they would
Well,
open and close.
I think during the time when they were talking about doing the gazebo, it was just like didn't know it was going to be that much like it is now.
Well, yeah. So the Aixa and Victor Diaz across the street, and I went. Pat's out of town right now, but we went to visit Jim and Sherby McGrath. They're living at Lakes of Litchfield right now. So we were talking about the building of the gazebo, and Jim was saying that I don't know. I think it was Salters that came up to him and said, "We need to build this bar up by the beach." He said, "I think it'll be very popular."
Yeah.
And Jim said, "Really? You think so?" He said, "Well, I think he said I'll give you $10,000."
Yeah, because during that time when we were like, the beach club used to have like an upper deck.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It used to be an upper deck because that part, I don't know if we still got pictures of it or whatever, but during that part, we used to have an upper deck and a lower part up under the bottom. And on the upper deck, we used to have tables set up on the upper deck of the beach club.
Where was it on the roof? Where was on the roof?
No, it's not on the roof. It was just like
I know where the inside where the white tablecloths were.
Like where they got the patio at right now. That's already in the beach club. All that the old part used to be like the upper deck used to be there.
Right.
Used to have a step that goes up there to that upper deck, and we used to set tables and stuff up there.
Okay.
And a bar.
Okay.
And that used to be when the beach club was. We used to have all the parties and stuff there.
Right.
Because we didn't have the clubhouse during that time.
Right. So, but when that gazebo opened up, it was popular right away.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
I don't think they were looking for it to be that popular.
But it became a moneymaker.
Yes, it has been. It has
and then in the summertime, when all our summer guests are here,
that's where they go.
Oh my goodness! And they put in a couple TVs so people can watch their sports up there, which is pretty cool. But it's been a big hit, that gazebo.
And then we did the pools and stuff.
Pools, yeah. So I guess the club. Have there been many changes to the clubhouse? I think they've renovated it a couple times.
They have. They went and they redid the bar.
That's right. They did change the bar.
And then they added on that sunroom.
That's right.
Along with the patio.
Yeah. They changed it into the Marsh Grill. It looks very nice.
And we did the golf shop and everything.
When I was young and first lived here, and I would go in there some with Pat. I remember peeking in that room. I think they called it the men's card room, and it had a little popcorn machine in there.
Yeah.
I said, Pat, what is this room? He said, oh, you can't go in there. It's just for men. I thought, okay. I didn't know why that room was so sacred, but I don't think they have that room anymore.
No, it's now a bar area.
Is it? Yeah.
They still got that little popcorn machine in there.
They what?
They still got that little
popcorn machine in there.
Yeah, and then they redid the ladies' locker room. They made that into the ladies' card room and stuff like that. And then they redid the bathrooms and everything. Yeah, it looks real beautiful.
It is so beautiful. It's just, we had our wedding reception here, and then 3 of my nieces have had their wedding reception. They live in Greenville, South Carolina, but my sisters thought that was just a beautiful place for a wedding reception. They had their, Kelly Jones just does such a great job.
She does a fantastic job.
She is just one of the best. Yeah. I love.
She's another Patty Eads.
She is Patty Jr. Yeah, she's really Kelly is really good at what she does. the tennis facility. So
Mhm.
remember that used to be a trailer,
Yeah,
and then the
that
tennis.
used to be a trailer at one time.
Yeah, I think when David Bromberg
David Bromberg.
was here,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a trailer, and then finally the tennis shop got built, which was so nice,
Yeah.
and then
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 they added on
the fitness
a
center,
fitness center, and
which is
things
really
like that.
nice.
Yeah, they did a fantastic job on that. And then I think they added a few more tennis courts. And
Yes,
then you got the pickle courts.
pickleball courts.
Pickleball.
Have you ever played pickleball?
Oh yeah.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. We used to do the office every once in a while. We take a break and we go over there and we go with Poon and we learn how to play pickleball.
Yeah, I've learned. I've only
We
played
used to
once.
play tennis at one time.
Yeah.
So.
Wasn't there always a day that the employees would go out and have a
Mhm.
golf day, or would they play on Mondays or something like that?
Yeah. And
Are you pretty good at golf?
At first I didn't like it.
Uh-huh.
No, I got no problem with it. I love it.
If they said, okay, Anderson, we want you to come today, and you can choose between pickleball and tennis, and then we'll go eat lunch afterwards. Which one would you do?
I'll take both.
You like both. You just like staying active. You like staying active. That's all right.
I'll take both.
Oh, I like your.
Oh, that's Gary and Sherry.
I like your ringtone.
Thank you.
Do you need to talk to them?
Now just text out. I'll call later.
Beach club expansion. That kind of took a while, and they started like Christmas a year ago. They said, it'll only take 6 months, but I don't know when they started. Maybe they started 18 months. But anyway, it looks beautiful now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I was in there a couple of months ago. Susky, another gentleman I used to work with, Susky, took me in because during the time they were developing, I used to just go in and look around and see what it's going to be like and picture it in my mind and stuff.
Did you meet the construction manager?
Yeah.
He's a young guy.
Yeah.
I know him. I guess
I think was it Lawrence or James? I believe it was.
Oh, it was with BEC Construction, right?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. They did a fantastic
They
job.
really did a great job. So you saw all that. Hey, do you fish?
No, my grandson does.
Your grandson? I was going to ask if you've ever
Little
been.
Donnell.
Have you ever been? So you've never been out to the North Inlet out here?
No.
No.
I usually just take him out here over there by number 14, and then over here on the back hole over here. You just kind of ride around. We just go out. He loves fishing. He just
catch it and throw it back. What kind of bait you using?
He get this little. He buys all his little stuff from the store.
So like a lure or something.
Yeah, and he catch them too. Yeah, he takes a lot of pictures.
How old is Donnell?
Donnell is 16 years old.
Oh, he's old.
Yeah.
Where does he go to school?
He goes to Georgetown High. That's I don't think you know Donnell's senior who works at the club.
Maybe I might know him.
That's his son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has Donnell? So Donnell's your son? No. Okay.
Donnell Senior. I consider him my son because his dad. How it all started off. His dad was my best friend growing up, and after his dad passed away, I took him under my wing.
All right. But Donnell's been there a while?
Yeah.
Senior? Okay, because I think he knew Covey, because one time
he did.
Covey was back for the holidays, and Covey was talking to him, so I think that was Donnell. And I like the young one, Cornell. Have you met Cornell?
Yeah.
Cornell
was a good guy.
He is great. He's very good to the members. Yeah. And I really like Amber, too, but Amber's not here anymore.
Yeah.
She went to France.
She came back, and I thought that was the best thing, because she knows the members and the members.
Oh my gosh, she knows everybody.
I guess when they walk in, they don't have to say what they need.
She knew everybody's drink order. Yep. It's crazy.
She had a great job.
But we lost. I think she's at Frank's now. But she was just the best.
Yeah.
I think we all miss her. Any alligator stories?
They guys gonna kill me for this. I can remember a time back during the time. Hampton and Perry and Andy, they used to.
They were growing up?
Yeah.
What did they do?
They messed with Gator.
What would they do?
Then they got caught.
What were they doing?
They were just, they caught one of them.
How did they catch it?
I don't know, but I caught them.
You caught them catching the alligator. Where was it?
We got them out of trouble.
Where was the alligator?
Well, they're all over the place, but I can't remember exactly where.
They
But
were at a pond somewhere?
yeah, those guys, they they good guys. Please forgive me. They're good guys, but they watch them
You were
do.
helping them out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you were helping them
I
out.
helped them out.
Were they mostly good boys growing up?
They were good guys.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
were
I love
good.
Miss Diane and Mr.
I remember
Bainey.
when Hampton went to school and
Yeah,
everything, and
yeah,
Perry and all those guys.
yeah.
Grew up
Great.
with all of them. I loved them all,
Uh-huh. How about
and I
Lolly?
loved them all.
Yeah, Miss
I met her
Diane,
when I started
Mr.
working out
Uh,
here.
she's no finer lady. She's just the
She
finest. She
is.
has a great heart. Um, Lolly, Pate's boys,
Mm.
Pate and Jeep.
Yep.
Remember them
No,
growing up?
I remember all of them
Did you ever
guys.
help those boys
Oh,
out?
they got, oh, they right along with Hampton now.
Oh, were they all together? All
Oh
hanging
yeah,
out?
but they good guys, all of them.
Were they getting in trouble?
Yeah.
Were they hiding their beer and their? You're not
I
telling.
can't tell that.
You are such a good
Those guys,
man.
those were good guys, and
And you know
up to
what?
this date, I respect each and every
Yeah.
one of
You
them.
know what? And they're good fathers now.
They
They've all
are.
turned into
They
really
are.
good
They're
fathers.
fantastic.
They have. Um,
It does my heart good to see them and to see how much what they have become and everything.
yeah, it is. Yeah. But you know, when you're young, that's just part of growing up, just having fun.
It is.
I had fun when I grew up, so
It is.
talk to me about some of your favorite members. Who are some of the favorite members? Okay, you said you like Wilson and Pat Lowry, Diane and Boney
Yeah,
Pease. How about Paula Ford? Paula
Paula
and Dwight Ford,
Ford,
yeah.
yes, and the late Mr. Rocky.
Jack Rocky,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
He was funny.
he was a character,
Did
and
you? Yeah.
him and Mr. Savini and all those
Lou
guys.
Cervini, yeah.
The
I think
mafia,
the Georgetown Mafia.
the
I think
Georgetown.
David English plays golf with them. Yeah.
Those guys, those were the guys you look up to,
Uh-huh.
and I
There
loved
was
all of
there
them.
was some man. Oh gosh, his wife had red hair. Gordon Cox. Did you remember him?
Yeah,
I heard that he drank.
I got it.
Yeah. Anyway, I heard he was a real character. Who are some of the other people that was just? Oh, you remember Al and Myrna McMahon?
Yes,
McMahon's.
I still talk to them.
Do you?
Matter of fact, I got a picture
Well,
of me and Kevin took a picture of Al. Them were down there this summer.
I thought that Al died. Did he not pass away?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, he's still there.
Okay. How about John Snodgrass?
Yes,
You remember him?
I remember him.
Okay. How about Mike Hazel passed away?
Yes, yeah.
But Jane's still here, right? And I love that. Their boys are all grown now.
Yeah.
Who else up there by the beach?
Ted Eads.
Ted and Patty Eads. Yeah. How about what's the big house? There's a big white and green house up by the beach. There's not
I remember the Hopes.
the Hopes, yeah.
Stewart.
Stuart Hope,
Yeah.
right?
They were all good friends of mine. And Fred Green.
Fred Green, yes.
Yeah. Fred
So-
Green is the gentleman that I learned who I know can talk to gators.
You're kidding me.
I'm serious.
Could he talk a gator like back down
There
the
was
pond?
one gator in that pond up at that sales office.
Yeah.
And he used to go out there and he'll call that gator by name and that gator come to him.
That's hilarious.
I didn't know how he did it, but he did.
Fred was the father of Gary and Fred Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any girls? I think there were some girls.
Yeah.
And they live way back up there down it's W Boulevard now.
W Boulevard.
And they live far away from the gate. I think
Yeah.
Fred was a salesperson, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He was in sales.
He was.
I heard stories
And
that
I think Miss Green used to work at the her office was further down on the rental office.
right. Alice and Jimmy Cromarty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think Miss Alice just liked to stay busy. She would work up in the pro shop.
Yeah.
I heard she used to drive a bus. I
Yeah.
heard
All over.
she would
She'd
just
be all over.
Alice would just do a little
She'd
bit of
be all
everything,
over.
right?
Yeah, she'd
Um,
be all over.
So many great people. I'm trying. Do you remember Bill Boone? He used to roller skate around the neighborhood.
Oh yes. The thing about it with people out here is that you get to know all of them,
Yeah,
and you can't do nothing but love them
right.
because I mean that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
That's the way Debbie was.
yeah.
Still is.
Well, I think people need to remember that. Just it's better to love people and get along than try and express your differences. I think it's better just to try and
Yeah.
get along. Yeah.
It is. And I'll
Um,
never forget the late Dr.
Dr. Rowland?
Yes.
Dr. Rowland.
Dr. Roland was
Great man.
he was fantastic.
Yes. And his wife, a lovely lady too. And I love
Oh,
Tom.
I love all both of them.
And
Because I used to pass her every morning coming into work. She's walking the
those dogs,
dog
yeah,
and
or her
everything,
little dog.
and she'd be lovely every morning.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, it's
And then Tom and Jane built the house next to the Rollins, and
yeah.
they're here now. And then Thomas, their son, I interviewed him on my podcast. He has a band now,
Hmm.
and both the girls are out of the house now. So another great, just fine people. They really,
Yeah.
really are fine people. There was somebody else I wanted to ask you about, and it's just escaping my mind. Oh, do you remember when those houses were catching on fire in DeBordieu?
The what?
There were some houses that caught on fire.
Yeah, one that got hit by lightning.
Yeah, it was up by the beach. It was
Yeah.
just humongous. It was
I
really
think that was at Ocean Green, Ocean
no.
Park.
There was it was just
Ocean
it was
Park.
just down from the beach club.
The one that I think it was being rented out right out here, and I think they were cooking out on the grill.
Yeah, the fish fry.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the grill had a rusted under the bottom, and the charcoal fall and
whole
caught that on
house.
fire.
Yeah, but everybody escaped. Everybody that was there in the
Yeah.
house, they got out.
They didn't know what was going on.
It was just a strange time, Anderson, because it just seemed that year we just had a couple of fires
Yeah.
back to back, and I thought nobody knew if they were being set or.
And then you had the kitchen house that caught on fire.
Yep, it did.
So yeah, it was.
Did you know the kitchens?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And a big house on the marsh and all. Great.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, did you know who's the lady? I think she had a helicopter landing pad in her yard.
Miss Box.
Spotswood Box.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
God rest her soul.
Lovely. If Mr. Box, I met him when I worked out here too.
Uh-huh.
And he was the nicest gentleman you ever want to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time when I can be out there working,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll come by in his car, and he'll stop me and tell me, "Come on, go ride with me."
Mm-hmm.
I used to go ride with him, and he talked trash about everybody. but he talks about it in a good way.
Yeah.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
No.
Okay. Wallace Pate. What do you know about Wallace Pate? Now, if to our listeners, Wallace Pate was the one who developed DeBordieu.
Yeah, his son, and it's such a perfect gentleman.
You talking about Finn or Jack?
Jack.
Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Jack, we're good friends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But Wallace, I guess you were in here when Wallace was developing the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Is it true that he would be on the like a backhoe or something, or
that's true.
he would be like digging things out or smoothing things out?
That's true.
Clearing lots and stuff.
He was with his cowboy hat on. He always
he literally made DeBordieu,
what it is.
Yeah, he did. And that was sad when he passed away. But did you ever meet Miss Lulu?
Mm-mm.
Miss Lulu Vanderbilt? You never met her?
No.
But you know Lolly and GP. But there's just been a lot of fun in here. I think DeBordieu is a most unique place.
It is.
And we've always been so fortunate to have you. And I'm sad you're not working anymore in here, but I guess everybody has your number, so they call you.
Oh yeah, they can call me anytime.
Yeah, you were just in here today helping somebody out, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Malone.
Yeah, so it's really good to know because
I remember I used to work for them when they first came here too. Me and her was talking about that earlier. I said I remember I used to work for y'all. Y'all were the first house I did work for when.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it just caught on. And I think what had happened was how it all started is that after working here, Tim Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was the club manager also.
Yes.
At one time. Started doing things for them, and then Wallace Street and all them.
Mm-hmm.
And it just developed after that, just kept going. And I had no problems with none of doing what I do. Because the thing about it is that this place right here, it I always look forward to coming to every day. I don't know, even when you go to, my wife used to tell me, say, yeah, you do nothing but eat, sleep, and think every day. Because I get off that day, I'm always looking forward to coming the next day. I'm always eager to be here.
Your heart's really so full of love, and maybe that's why everybody loves you, because you're just so smiley and you're just so willing to help everybody. But you just always seem to have the answer to whatever was going on in this neighborhood. regardless of what building it was or what family member it was, or or what pond it was, whatever
Yeah.
it was, you seemed to
Yeah.
know what was going on.
Well,
So
thank you.
you've been a valuable resource to all of us for so long, and I thank you for that on
Well,
behalf of the
thank
whole neighborhood. I thank you
Thank
for that.
you.
So do you keep up with Jeff Kaz?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen him recently?
No, since he went to Florida
Uh-huh.
this week, I think I'll probably get a phone call. He texted me yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and we get together probably every once in a while.
Uh-huh.
Wednesday at Frank's.
He was a really good club manager.
He is.
He was a lot like you, that he knew all the club members very well,
Yeah.
and he was very good, just very calm.
Sometimes he has to remind me.
But he did.
Yeah.
And Troy is what.
Those are my two of my bestest friends.
Yeah, just well, if it wasn't for Troy, got me into real estate. So
Mhm.
when I decided I want to be a realtor, I said, so she kind of really mentored me and helped me to know what to do, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, I met Troy before I met Jeff because Troy used to be one advertised salesman at one time. It was Troy,
I think she did do.
Sarah, and Maria used to be the three young ladies down there at the sales office during that time when I first started.
So she wasn't a realtor; she was doing advertising sales.
Mhm.
Oh, promoting DeBordieu.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even know that.
yeah,
So she was here before Jeff.
yeah.
So they weren't married yet.
Mm-mm.
How about that?
Yeah.
How did they meet? Do you know?
Here.
Here. How about that?
Yeah. And I think they known each other earlier before
Uh-huh.
or whatever
Mhm.
and everything.
Yeah.
But I had my ideas about him. I didn't when they got married, I was me and Edel, another gentleman who used to work with Edel
Uh-huh.
Holmes, and we used to do a lot of work for Troy.
Mhm.
And then Cass came in the picture. Don't quote me on that one. But yeah, and they're such great people.
They are.
And they're good
I think Troy and Jeff make a great couple.
They are.
They complement. Their
Oh,
personalities
yes,
complement each
yes,
other.
yes,
They do.
yes.
Yeah.
And Troy, Jeff used to be a quiet one,
Yeah.
but now over the years he has developed.
He speaks a little more.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and I love him, and I trust him,
Good. Good.
and he's my best friend.
So what are you doing now that you're not working here?
What am I doing now? I just staying busy
Uh-huh.
and still do things for members out here.
Uh-huh.
I always tell members if whenever you need me, just call me.
Okay.
I can't get it. I can't shake this place.
Uh-huh.
I can't do it.
Well, we can't shake you because we certainly love you, and it was always good seeing your face around because it just gives. I think it provides everybody a lot of comfort. You're kind of like the common denominator. We knew that the Anderson was here, everything was going to be okay. Gosh, you were here for Hurricane Hugo.
Yes.
We didn't even talk about hurricanes.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that?
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane prep or what happened after?
Hurricane Hugo at that one time we had a lot of pine trees and
Right.
a lot of pine trees used to be around DeBordieu, and then Hugo came and just kind of made things.
Did you have to help clean up after that? What did y'all do?
We did a lot of members that live here, but they weren't staying here
Mm-hmm.
that much. We used to go down and sandbag, like one of the oldest house down here on DeBordieu,
Mm-hmm.
down on the south end, Turtle Lake 2.
Yep.
We used to go down and do sandbag because of the water was coming in and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was during that time was like an all community chip in thing. You know what I mean?
The neighbors would help too.
Everybody helped each other, even if they're not here.
Yeah.
We are still there to help them as much as we can to make sure everything is.
So before the storm, you were sandbagging,
Mm-hmm.
but after the storm, when the trees had fallen down, did y'all have to get the chainsaws out? And
we got chainsaws, and everybody just chipped in and.
So did you have to kind of chainsaw your way in? Was the street blocked at all?
No, I think the other crew had already done
Okay.
come in and did all that, but we protect like the clubhouse and the beach club and make
Did
sure.
the beach club lose any windows during Hurricane Hugo?
It lost probably about 2 windows. That's a strong building.
Is it?
It stood up through Hugo.
You know what I think is strong? I think those Pioneer Place villas are strong. The one in the front.
Yeah.
Those are like fortresses.
Yeah.
They've been through every storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it held up real good.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I think when Hugo came through, everybody thought it was going to be, DeBordieu was going to be
Destroyed.
but that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot of beach sand erosion, but we got through that. We got through a lot of storms and stuff,
yeah.
and a lot of beach erosion, but we got through that too, and
Yeah. Yeah.
still standing.
Yeah, it is still standing. It seems to come back. It comes back every single time. It's a great. Really is a great place. I think my favorite thing to do in the summertime is I get up super early in the morning, put the dogs on the golf cart, and I'll take them out on the beach for a run when nobody's out there yet. It's just beautiful. When you see the turtles come up sometime, it's really, or the dolphins jumping.
And another lady I'll never forget. We used to call her the turtle egg lady. You know who I'm talking
Betsy Brabson.
Yes.
Gosh, I can't believe she passed away.
She was inspiration.
She was.
And
so dedicated to the Loggerhead Sea.
I didn't know a thing about turtles till I met her.
Uh-huh.
And I learned a lot of stuff and how to recognize stuff down there on the beach from her.
I learned everything. Everything I know about Loggerhead sea turtles, I learned because of her. Yeah. How when they came in at night, why the beach, the front porch lights on the beach houses need to be turned off.
Yeah.
And how they laid their eggs, why they would occasionally, the volunteers would move the nest if needed. How they marked the nest.
Yeah. I remember her and her husband used to go. I used to be managing I used to be the pool manager.
Yeah.
During the summertime, and they'll come through, and I talk with them, and I said, "What y'all got going on?" They said they're going down and mark off some turtle eggs and stuff like that.
Yes.
Turn bill.
Yeah. Well, I think you had to wait like 60 days. It took about 60 days from the time they were laid till they hatched.
And people used to come down during the summer, and they come by and they ask questions. Where are they having the turtle egg?
Yeah, well, they're opening a nest. They'd open a nest, right?
We try to get them to let them know where they're at and stuff on the beach, and they have a big crowd.
Yeah, I took my kids down there a couple of times. It was fascinating to watch because they were opening up the nest after the hatchlings had gone out. Right. And the purpose of the opening is just to see were there any that didn't make it out, how many shells were in the nest, and so the volunteers that were trained would be there with the gloves counting each shell, and occasionally there would be 3 or 4 little hatchlings they'd have to put on the sand. We'd make a little trail. People would line up on either side while the little turtles made their way to the ocean, and she had to make sure that they crawled by themselves because they needed to strengthen their legs and their flippers, and they would crawl all the way to the ocean and then get carried out. It was just the neatest thing watching all that.
So she was a great inspiration.
She was. She did a lot, and things in relationship to the turtles like that's. There's some plant that was growing on the beach. It was not. It's kind of would get in the way of the turtle nest sometimes. Yeah. She did a lot. She went to the state house and talked about the turtles, and she did a lot about that. Do you like NFL football or no?
Yes.
Are you going to watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Who are you going to cheer for? You don't know? Who's your favorite team in the NFL?
My favorite team?
Let's hear it.
I'm Oakland Raider man.
You're Raiders?
Yeah.
Well, what city is that team? Are they in Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. I would between the 49ers and Kansas City. I'll go either way.
Oh, you don't care?
Yeah.
Just looking for a good game.
Good game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good game.
I thought the playoff games were good games.
Taylor Swift's gonna be there, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, she's supposed to be in Tokyo. I've heard having a concert. I wonder if she's gonna be able to make it back or not. We'll see.
She's gonna make it.
We'll see.
Yeah. That's the big thing on the news now anyway.
It's ridiculous. Oh my God. I know the NFL's so glad she got involved.
Crazy.
Let's see. What else did I want to ask you about? I think I got everything. Oh, if you wanted to give a message to our listeners or to the people in the neighborhood or anybody, what would you like to say to everybody?
That I love them.
You love them?
Yeah. And I miss them.
You must be close to God because you seem to be full of love. Do you say your prayers every day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You just exude love from your heart. And what do you like about living here along the coast?
Everything. People. Even you may run across somebody that probably having a bad day, but still, when you talk to them, it gets better. So it's just giving out what you take in, and that's what I do.
Thank you.
And that's what I love.
Listen to me. It's been a treat talking with you, and I can't thank you enough for
I
sitting
wasn't
in.
expecting this, but
Oh,
thank
so
you.
many questions. You know, a woman can ask 1,000 questions. I could keep going, Anderson. You know me. But I appreciate you coming in and sitting down and chatting with us for a while. And we hope you have lots of fun in your retirement. I hope you're in and out of WD all the time because
Oh yeah,
we love seeing you.
it's in my blood.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Every week after I make an episode, I think, oh my gosh, that's the best one I've made yet. But today I also said that, oh, this is the best one. Everybody's going to love listening to this conversation with Anderson because so many people love him. So I think today was my best podcast episode yet. I hope you feel the same way. Anderson and I probably could have talked for 2 hours, but I just didn't want the podcast to be that long. But every time I thought we were getting to the end of the conversation, we would remember one more thing and start talking about that. But I could have probably talked to him for 2 or 3 more hours. He's just a great person to be around, just exudes friendliness, love, and warmth, and just always wants to help people. So I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, would you please like it, rate, review, subscribe to it? It doesn't cost you anything to do that. Tell your friends and neighbors. Share it with other people. You can watch it on this YouTube format, or you can go to wherever you watch your favorite podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast. But we hope you're doing well, and we hope you have a great weekend and a great week. And until we see you again, take care. Bye.